as we're going to be jumping in to the conclusion of our best of 3 PvP semifinals. We're going to finish it off here on Oceanborn. Over here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left, we of course have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. He is of course going to be representing his team Twisted Minds. We have Classic.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Match Arena Esports. It is Astrea. Wait, sorry, Virtus Pro. Why?
Wait, it's still Maturino in
Fix
Korea,
up your clan.
I SMH my head, Max.
God damn it.
Shaking my head, Max.
So, hasn't been on Maturino for a very long time, is on Virtus Pro.
Indeed he is. Picked up by Virtus, which is, you know, when I think of Virtus Pro, I usually think of kind of the CIS region, Eastern Europe and whatnot. They have a lot of historic roots there in Counter-Strike and whatnot, so yeah, interesting that they did decide to pick up a StarCraft player and did decide to pick up Astrea specifically.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is confirmed for EWC, so he was a hot pickup, a value pickup if you will, so Astrea of course going to be repping well and preparing for his EWC run.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Astrea is pretty much the best player from the Americas region, so he was a very hot pickup. He was a huge fish that I think a lot of these teams that wanted to pick up the EWC bonus were kind of eyeing. I imagine that Virtus went with Astrea because Spirit was already on Navi.
True.
Yeah, it's very rare that we see Virtus Pro pick up players from outside their region. Is just a thing.
Yeah. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the support that Astrea is
definitely
getting. And we'll see where this takes us. Now, we did miss out on Game 1 and Game 2 of this series, so we're not really too aware of what did occur. If you're maybe a little bit more privy to that, then let us know in the chat as to what happened in the previous games. We are at least here for the finale. We're here for the climax. And so far, 2 gate openers all around. Astrea is going to be taking his expansion a little bit later here. Classic already going for his own Nexus.
Yeah. Which means that he's going to lose.
Yeah, basically, Classic, he went for a single Sentry opener. He went for a single unit into a faster Nexus, so a very greedy build here by Classic. Astrea going for his own Nexus at a standard timing, but he's just playing this out safely here. He's just chilling back at home, just relying on some probe scouting and eventually hallucination as well, so we're just kind of easing our way into this PvP.
Yeah, Astrea going for the Classic NA, Classic going for the greedy NA.
As we do move out. Back at home, we have our tech of choice, going to be a Twilight Council from both players, so we are mirroring each other for the time being, working towards Blink.
Yep, very standard stuff. We weren't privy to game number 1 and game number 2, but yeah, I have to imagine that similar things did occur. Astrea throwing down that proxy pylon. We're about to see a gateway.
Yeah, I'm curious how we make use of this. For now, just going to be reinforcing on the front lines. We're going to have 4 Stalkers in total, as opposed to the 1 of Classic. But we have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, we have force fields. Classic does have the tools to defend. We'll see if we can pull it off, though. We'll see if Astrea can maybe catch some units, even going for some fake Stalkers as well.
Yeah, I love to see it. No shield battery in position just yet, but we do have a lot of sentries before Blink did finish up, so yeah, Astrea actually going to be losing one of his own sentries. Yeah, shield battery does finish up in time.
Does bleed out 1 sentry. Meanwhile, force fields are still available for both players. Astrea trying to drag the army out of position to force field them off and to pick off whatever he can. But alas, it looks like Classic is holding well. Nice hold position micro so far. It does not get baited out and will hold.
Yeah, and now Astrea has come up with a plan B. He's going to be chilling outside of this natural base, going to try to contain Classic for as long as possible, but Astrea has to make a decision pretty soon. Does he go for the 3rd base while he knows that he will have the lead, or does he just double down?
See if he does a double down. For now, Force is going to be thrown down. Would you just decide to collide here? And Classic, he is going to be able to push through a little bit further. I say that is going to be forced back and punished by the Concave.
Ooh. And the surround with the Zella as well. I think Astrea traded a little bit better, but is starting to run out of steam here. The
Yeah,
reinforcements of Classic will be able to chase us away.
Yeah, in the end, it was Astrea losing 4 Stalkers for 3 Stalkers of Classic. Classic does outtrade him a little bit more towards the end, and the third base is being taken. Classic going to chase this down.
Yeah, Classic going to chase and shut this down, and he even, as you pointed out, he even gets the third base quicker than Astrea. Classic's just miles ahead in pretty much every metric.
Yeah, he shuts down the main army, he expands, takes the third base. Back at home, Astrea, his blink finished 10 seconds later, and that did actually impact the game, as Classic was able to make use of his blink. Astrea just now finishing up, and Astrea is on the back foot.
Like so. Classic with his own blink finishing up a lot quicker is now going to make use of it. This third is even less defensible than Classic's natural earlier on.
Yeah, as we can try to focus on the Stalkers. We do have an offensive Immortal, thankfully. Shibatari does finish up in time, and with the help of the Immortal, Astrea should be able to hold on. But, of course, both players are building up towards that next step. We have Forges on the way, +1. Charge already in production here for Classic. He's taking up towards Charge lots already. Slightly faster, but Astrea is not too far behind it.
Yeah. That's all said and done. Classic definitely has the advantage, but this is very greedy. Classic throwing off the shackles of NA.
Yeah, let's go, as we take an insanely fast fourth base before the third was even done, by the way, so essentially double expanding. Classic, I mean, when you're ahead, may as well just get even further ahead.
Why the hell not? I mean, he knows he has map control, he knows that he is way up ahead in army supply, so might as well.
Yeah, as he picks up 4 more workers, is going to be able to blink back. Did lose the Observer, so it wasn't for free, but 4 workers is just a good trade nonetheless here for Classic. And Astrea is just pinned and stuck back at home, at least until he can get into his own upgrades. Until then, Astrea is our defender.
And it will be for quite some time. 7 more gateways finishing up here from Classic. Also getting the Templar Archives. Charge is going to finish up a lot quicker than Charge for Astrea. How do we, as Astrea, bounce back from this?
I mean, we got options, right? As Astrea's now taking his own fourth, but right, we can try to work towards Dark Templar, rush into Disruptors. We can try to pick a Classic apart with something like Adeptaras, right? With like 2 Adepts shading into mineral lines. Like, there are ways to try to bounce back economically, but the pressure is on Astrea to make those moves happen.
Yeah, we'll see what he opts for in the end, as... Yeah, so far he is just focusing on his macro, which I guess I can't really blame him too much for that. He hasn't really been able to get into the swing of things yet in this game. He hasn't been able to fully saturate his bases just yet, but the time is starting to run out. Classic is going to look to push and go for a very powerful +1 timing here with Archons, with Charge, with everything.
Yeah, Hallucination confirms that the fourth base is already saturated, so Astrea now knows how far behind he is. He didn't know that, of course, Classic had taken a fast fourth earlier, and now he does confirm, and Astrea, he just knows he's in a rough position. There we go, we have a line of shield batteries on the way. Astrea, he knows he's in trouble, and here comes Classic with a massive supply lead.
He's up 50 army supply, and 50 supply in general.
Yeah.
He's up 50 supply, and all of it is an army.
Yeah. That's a massive wave of Zelts. There is one Archon. That one Archon has a lot of work to do here, as Classic has how many Zelts? 29 Zelts, almost 30 Zelts here for Classic.
That's why I think Archons should have stim.
Oh my god. Good at it.
As the Zealots do charge forward.
Oh,
and he will sort away the rest of Astrea's army. Yeah, the whole positioning working out really well. A lot of these Zealots actually getting taken out.
Yeah, I'm loving the whole position micro here out of Classic. He will be able to shut down the base. He preserves most of his Zealots. They all do survive. And Classic systematically is pushing forward here. Overcharge is popped, but it's about to run out.
Yeah, a little bit of a premature pop here in the battery overcharge. And yeah, now that that's out, Classic, he's just warping another wave of Zealots. And he's going for the throat.
Yeah, exactly. We can either force our way up the ramp or just rotate around instead. We'll see what we go for now. Just picking up a Zealot as well. Just containing Astrea to these 3 bases. And Classic, he's about to max out.
Yeah, Astrea far from that. Even supply blocked for a quick second there.
Even does get supply blocked. We can see Classic rotate over towards the high ground. Astrea forced to expand elsewhere, but here comes the main army, and how do we stop this tide of Protoss from Classic?
There's battery overcharge, but which we don't have.
We do not have it. We're getting on top of the main army. There we go. We do have another overcharge just now coming off of cooldown. With that, Astrea, he can hold the line. Classic will respect it. He does back up, at least with the Zealots. But again, just taking it slow and steady here. Classic still out trading Astrea.
Yeah, he doesn't want to dive too deep. He doesn't want to fight within range of those shield batteries. Especially against 3 Archons like that, which really benefit the most from shield batteries.
Yeah, we can see Astrea trying to come in from behind. He's going for the Prism, and the Prism will survive. It barely lives.
Somehow, my god. And with the survival of that War Prism, I mean, Classic doesn't even need it at this point, as he's just collapsing on everything else. GG is called, and Classic going to be taking that series 2-1, going into the finals to face Oliveira. GG, that was a very convincing win here from Classic. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see the full series here. I feel like, you know, we were kind of shortchanged. We know that Astrea took game number 1, but I can't imagine that game was anything like this one.
Yeah, exactly. This was a pretty clear cut here where Classic took an early lead, and he just capitalized it so hard. He just snowballed out of control, rushing to that 4th base because of the fast 4th. Better saturation meant a much faster max out as well with purely Zealots, you know, making full use of all those minerals. We had almost 30 Zealots, more than double the Zealot count of Astrea. It was insane. And even though Archons can do well against them, we saw that Classic was so meticulous with his Zealot control and made sure that he never overextended with them. He was so careful with how he was engaging.
Yeah, it's very easy at that point. When you know that you're ahead, when you know that you're maxed out and your opponent is far from that, to just A, move in and suddenly lose all of your Zealots to a volley of Archons. But Classic, I feel like he didn't have to micro that, but the fact that he did just really put him from winning to winning convincingly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just really solid play there out of Classic. And with that, GG, well played. We have our 2 finalists. It's going to be Oliveira versus Classic in a best of 5 at TVP.
Oh boy, here we go. Classic, another one of those historically very strong PvT players. So it's possible that we see something similar coming out from Trap. I feel like the games that Classic will win here won't necessarily be similar to what we saw from Trap versus Oliveira, where Trap pretty much won on the back of counterattacks and killer instinct. We might see one of those coming out here if we do see that in the event of a Classic victory, but I feel like Classic is going to be much more focused on just hitting his timings as opposed to relying on counterattacks.
Oh yeah, exactly. And with that, we have our final 2 players here, the final series of the night. It's going to be one final best of 5, and all the vetoes are already done.